Hey, hey, hi everyone. So today I want to talk to you about taking your power back. So I've heard a lot of comments around feelings and feelings of unworthiness, feeling insecure, feeling lost. And all of these feelings show up when we've lost our power, when we've lost our ability to know who we are. And that's the most common thing that happens when we are in a marriage that isn't working, when we have a divorce, we have a breakup, and then after we're trying to figure out what the hell's going on and where am I and who am I now in this new life. So if you don't get into some practices around getting your power back and feeling more confident, then you're just going to repeat in all the other relationships that you pick going forward. So let's talk about that today, because I have a lot of experience with that. So as you know, I've been married for was married for over 20 years, and I totally gave my power away. I totally compromised myself. These are all the things I would say to myself. I sold myself out. I threw myself under the bus. I put myself dead last. And I did that by assuming a role. Okay, because when we get into our marriage, we fall into this pattern that we've seen from our parents and also what we've inherited. So we don't even have the resources or the conscious awareness to know how to do it differently unless you've done your work. So you get into these patterns. I certainly did. I became the wifey. I just got rid of my career. I became financially dependent, emotionally dependent. I did all the wrong things. I lost myself completely in my marriage. And by the time I was finished, I didn't know who I was. So if you are suffering from this same dilemma, this is what you need to do. You need to, first of all, stop operating under the assumption that if you give all your energy to the people you love, to work, coworkers, to friends, to anybody in your life, that it's going to come back to you. Because it's not necessarily. If you're operating from a depleted state, if you're so depleted and you've just been giving, and never filling up your bucket again with energy and vibrancy and goodness and feeling confident and getting all of the good feedback that you need, like the thank yous, the appreciations, the doing for you, people doing stuff for you. If you're constantly doing and constantly overextending yourself, you're operating from an empty bucket. You're at a negative. So if you're operating at a negative, what's going to come back to you is negative energy. Okay? So do you understand how that works? This is law of attraction stuff. It's very, very basic. What you put out energetically, not just, all the things that you do during your day, but if you're operating from a depleted energy state, you're going to get back depleted energy. You're not going to get back anything. So how do you do that? How do you get your energy back? How do you get yourself back, right? How do you create your boundaries? And that's, of course, boundaries is so many ways to create boundaries. But what I'm going to tell you today is you're going to have to start saying no, and start asking yourself these 3 essential questions. Is this going to make me happy? Or am I compromising myself? Okay, that's the first thing you have to ask yourself when anybody asks you for a favor or asks you to do something for them. Children aside, this is about adult relationships. You have to ask yourself, is this going to make me happy? Or am I compromising myself? Okay, so if you're putting aside your own needs to help somebody else, you're depleting yourself. If your needs aren't going to be depleted, then sure, go ahead. Do that thing for them. Okay, so ask yourself that question and determine whether or not this is a boundary that's being crossed. Is this going to make me happy, or am I compromising myself? Second question you're going to ask yourself is, are their needs more important than mine? in whatever the situation is. I remember in Sex and the City, a great scene when Samantha divorces her hot model, hot young husband. Do you remember what she said? What she realized? She said, "I'm, I, your needs are more important than mine." When did that happen? When did your needs become more important than my needs in my life? Right? So I want you to keep that in mind. Are their needs more important than mine? No. That's always the answer. Their needs are never more important than yours. Your needs are more important. And then the final question you have to ask yourself is, am I having fun here, or is this wasting my time and making me sad? We do things out of obligation. And again, this is part of our programming, and it's bullshit. It's total bullshit. We don't have to be obligated to do anything. Of course, children aside and elderly parents aside, even then, if you're not operating from the point of joy and from the point of view of really loving what you're doing for somebody, then you have to ask yourself whether or not you're doing the right thing for yourself and for that person. Because if you're doing anything out of obligation and out of resent, they're going to feel it. And trust me, that is going to come back to you. So pay attention to how you are feeling when you're doing something for somebody. Say no if it doesn't feel good. Forget all the voices in your head saying, oh, I have to because they did this for me the other time, or I'm obligated because we're in a relationship and this is a friend that I want to keep. Those are always booby traps, and it puts you in emotional jail. So get yourself out of emotional jail right now by asking those 3 questions. Is this going to make me happy, or am I compromising myself? Are my needs or their needs more important than mine? No. Am I having fun here, or is this wasting my time? Okay? These are fundamental questions that you should be asking yourself whenever you're doing something for somebody. And I want you to start saying yes to yourself and more no's to other people. The more you start doing this, the more you're going to be able to fill up that empty bucket that you have as a result of your divorce or separation. You have to fill it up. Nobody else can do it for you. Okay? Stop waiting for somebody else to make you happy. Stop waiting for somebody else to make you feel wanted or desired. These are feelings that you have to fill your bucket up with first in order for somebody else to reflect that back to you. Because if you are not feeling those things and you're not giving them out, they're not going to come back to you at all. Okay? That's the rule. So remember this. What's past is past. Now you get to start over. Every day you get to start fresh. Every single day is a new day. You can leave that other stuff behind you, leave the week behind, leave yesterday behind, and especially leave that separation and that divorce way the hell in the dumpster and never look back. Okay? So for today and for the rest of this week, create your boundaries. Start filling up your bucket. Get yourself out of this emotional jail. Ask yourself these 3 essential questions. Is this going to make me happy, or am I compromising myself? Are their needs more important than mine? No. Am I having fun here, or is this wasting my time? All those questions, ask them, write them down, okay? And go to dianamikis.com and read this blog post that gives you more information. It is called, This is How to Take Your Power, or Take Back Your Power. Okay? So have an amazing day, and we'll see you again next week.